What is going on today, guys? Welcome back. We are back in the shop, and as you can tell, we got the 08 in the shop because we got a couple things that we got to address. You guys know that we daily drive this thing, and this thing has constant things that come up that we got to take care of, some things that we have not yet fixed, like the steering box that we're going to get back to. So steering box, number one on the list. We got a whole pile of parts. The 05 has officially taken over parts tailgate duty, but started off this morning with going to get a new VP pump for this truck. We're not going to get into that. Thank you, Garrett. I'll put his Instagram name down here. Had this pump, but again, we're not going to get into that, but thank you. Spent the morning going to grab that from his shop, and we're going to move on to taking care of the 08. So first thing, oil change, fuel filter change. We got some new air dog filters for it. Here is the 07 and up. Well, actually, I think it's like, anyway, this is like a 4th gen steering box. I'm not going to get into that. You guys know that we were having some issues with the lines. We have all new lines. If the lines do not come off, if they snap, they break, it is now the weekend. We can take care of that and put new lines on. So we got that. And then, of course, in the box here, you guys know, it's got to be good if it's made in the USA. Inside here, we have a Dodge off-road steering box brace meant for the larger shaft of that box. So here is the bigger sector shaft, the nut, all of that stuff. So we've been waiting on that to come in. That came in really beefy, heavy duty. Look at this thing. This thing's massive. So this is actually a single side steering brace, which again, we'll get into some of these details as we get going. I really just want to kind of get going on this thing. So got the steering box brace, should get all of that stuff done. Got the lines, got the pump, that stuff. Also, inside this box, this is the not so fun part. You guys know about 2 years ago, if you've been following the channel for a long time, the trip before we went to go grab the 1st gen, the fan clutch went out. Well, we're having another issue with the fan clutch. So lifetime warranty, luckily, we have a new fan clutch. So what's happening is we actually have a check engine light on in here, and these are the 2 codes, and maybe this will help some of you guys out. Stick your key in, 1, 2, 3. P012 or 0128 and 0480. Those are the 2 codes that are in there, and what we had found was, I believe those codes are for the fan control circuit. What is happening is, unless I'm on the highway at 2,000 RPMs going fast, the truck will not warm up. The fan clutch is actually staying engaged, constantly spinning, and seeing that it's so cold, the truck will not warm up. As soon as I come off of the highway, the thing shoots right down because the fan is continually turning. So I believe the fan clutch is bad. We are going to go ahead and check all the wiring for that plug as well. But we're just going to go ahead and replace the fan clutch on here as well. So fan clutch, steering box, some maintenance. That is where the day is at. That's where we're going, and hopefully we can just knock this stuff out. Guys, we're cruising along, got all the easy stuff done, got the air dog filters and the oil change all done, but I just want to show you some quick, simple steps here on the fan clutch. We do have the fan clutch loose. There are some bolts or some studs right here, you guys can see underneath here, that hold the bottom of the shroud. There's one right there. They are 13mm nuts, and then there's one over there on that side, and then the wiring for the fan clutch is right down here, this plug right here, and there's a little 10mm bolt that you got to undo, and then this is basically all loose from down here. So let's pop up top, and then I'll show you guys the rest. This actually went a lot easier, or I guess I've had this apart, so maybe that's why. But again, 2 more 13mm nuts right there holding the shroud on. When you pull the fan clutch, you pull the shroud up with it. One over here, and then this is This is a tool that I got a little while ago. I know they make like fancy air hammer ones that are even nicer, but this is the Napa fan wrench. I think it's a 36, yeah, 36 right on there. And then you got this little jammy that kind of holds the fan while you're spinning. So as you can see down here, we got a little bit of gap on the threads. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue to basically pull this off, right off the front hub nut there, pull this out, and then we can go ahead and swap the actual fan clutch onto the fan, because you got to do a little swappy rooski there. We'll go ahead and check out all of the other, check the belt out. The belt actually looks pretty good. These green belts, I always get asked about these green belts. These are just from Napa. These are like the heavy duty green Napa belts. I'm sure other people can get them, but the Napa is just closest by me. I know some people do O'Reilly, some people do other stuff. Napa is what's closest to me, so that's where a lot of this stuff comes from. So we're gonna go ahead, remove all of that stuff, and I'll catch back up with you guys swapping over the fan onto the hub. Alrighty, job number 3 of the day. Moving along good. I'm actually feel like I'm about to go buy some lottery tickets because today's going a little bit too well. But new fan clutch installed. Gave the other pulleys a spin. Water pump, tensioner. Everything looks good. No odd sounds, no play. Belt looks good. So put that stuff all right back on and got the fan shroud on, and we're good to go. We're gonna start tackling the power steering box, which should be good. Save the best for last. So hopefully we can get those lines off, get that old box off. Went ahead and already took out this fender liner. You can see there, we've already been over kind of some of this stuff, so I'm going to jump right into it and catch up with you guys. Hopefully, when there's no bad news, only good news, we'll take the old box off, compare it to the new one. Again, I got a couple questions on where I got this power steering box from. I'm not really sure if there's a great place to buy it. These things are kind of expensive. I already gave you guys the part number here, but I'll give it to you again. And it is heavy. It is heavy. But I believe those are the part numbers. I just got this right from Mopar dealer, the dealership. Probably the best bet. I didn't get hooked up with these guys when I got this, but genuinedieselpark.com. Probably going to go ahead and get you hooked up. That they can get OEM Mopar and Cummins stuff. So I'd probably actually go try these guys. I actually got the lines all from them. So it's genuinedieselpark.com. Again, genuinedieselpark.com. I get asked a lot. I probably don't mention it enough, but go ahead, check them for the power steering box. Go ahead and get this Dodge off-road brace in there. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into it, and I'll catch back up with you guys when that girl is out of there. Alrighty, guys, we have won yet again. The old steering box is out. As you can see, I did have to cut the lines. I didn't even really try messing with them as I tried doing that last time. And those collar nuts, basically, so I can show you guys here, this is what was frozen before. This nut that's supposed to slide on this flare did not want to come separated, so they're kind of fused together. You can kind of see there's some space down in there that if stuff gets in there, it gets corroded, the line and this nut are not going to spin freely. So that is what ended up happening on both occasions. I could not get them out. I got new lines, they were a little rusty, so I just cut them off. So we're good. But here's the comparison of the two steering boxes, what your factory one looks like, and then the upgraded 4th gen one. You can kind of see this is what they call, I guess, the sector shaft is much, much bigger. Has a whole lot more, I don't know, support, bigger room, supposed to be better, supposed to be heavier duty. So that is what we had gotten for this. And this is the factory one of these. Everything is just much bigger on this thing. So we're gonna go ahead. This is the Dodge off-road supplied stuff. We're gonna put that on there. And then we're gonna go ahead and get the new steering box up in there, tighten that all down, and then I'll show you guys how this Dodge off-road steering brace works. And the way they designed this is the old one that spanned across both of the frame rails. They actually designed this one a little bit differently, and they believe that this actually puts less pressure on the actual end of the shaft there and supports the box much better. So they this thing is like patent designed, heavy. Look at, I mean, look at those welds. I mean, this thing's pretty sweet. So I'm pretty pumped to have this on here. Kind of goes through the frame right here, connects to the sway bar, and is supposedly the best support on the market. So really pumped to put this on. They make a lot of stuff for these and the second gens. We're actually going to be trying to utilize some of that stuff on the second gen as well. Supposedly better than like upgraded fourth gen steering, the stuff that they got. So we're going to go through these instructions as soon as we got the new box up in there. But this is the first step, just trying to get this box in, get the steering shaft lined up, get the new lines on there, and then we can go ahead and move on with the brace upgrade. So pretty pumped. We're not having too hard of a time, guys. Fingers crossed, but got some cleanup to do, but we're moving along, so yes. Alrighty, we are all set, boys. Let me show you what we got here. Here is the Dodge off-road power steering box support with the bearing. As you can see, that big nut that kind of splines onto the end of the shaft goes right through this bearing right here, greasable bearing. Get that all set up. New power steering box looks good. Everything is buttoned back up. You can kind of see over here, kind of attaches to the side of the frame here, sandwiches in between the sway bar bushing, and kind of supports it just like that. Very tight fit, very nice. And again, the ones that tie in between the frame rail, these guys are saying through their research that this style is actually more supportive, better for the power steering box, as opposed to something that possibly twists. And when your frame is articulated or twisting a little bit, even though these third gen ones don't twist a whole lot, they're saying that they still do. And when it twists and your frame rails are connected, it might actually be putting force on that. So installed really well. What we just did right now, as you can see, we are up on the jack stands to bleed out the power steering fluid. The procedure that I used and have used before and have had great luck with. So before you do anything, you fill up the reservoir. Always leave the cap off. Cap off on everything. And again, this is just what I do. If you do something different, that's completely fine. Cap off on the reservoir without starting the truck. Turn the wheel a whole ton of times before you even start the truck with the cap off. Once you've done that, keep refilling the fluid up until it's good. Then you can start the truck again with the cap off. Turn the wheel back and forth a million times, and then once you're satisfied that you have all the air out, go ahead, shut the truck off, check your fluid level once again, put the cap on, and you're good to go. So I believe we are done. I actually did end up changing both of these lines up here. So we have 3 new lines going to the reservoir to the pump, one to the box, and then the box to the cooler down underneath here. I was not originally going to change this line, but I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see here. Up by the... So up by... So up by here, you can kind of see how the line is starting to dry, crack a little bit right there. I saw that and I was like, you know what, we do have the third line here. So we went ahead and just replaced all 3. So fan clutch, all 3 lines, new gearbox. Very pumped to see how this thing turns. It is now completely dark out. Definitely a little bit involved on the gearbox, changing all the lines, but very happy with the way everything turned out. I'm hoping that between the new gearbox and the new brace, we have a completely new steering truck. So we're gonna go ahead and get this mess completely wrapped up, back the truck out, and I will kind of give this thing a little bit of a test drive outside and catch up with you guys when we're all set. But hopefully that helps some of you guys out. Huge thumbs up to the guys at Dodge Off-Road for making a really nice piece here. Hoping that it's doing well. Got some AMSOIL ATF because that's what the power steering fluid takes. So oil change is done. Very successful maintenance-filled Saturday. All right, guys, it is the following morning. Had to run out and was driving this thing a little bit last night. Wanted to try and get some morning shots for you guys. But this steering box, I guess the steering box combination between that and the Dodge Off-Road thing is amazing. This steering box is so insanely, either that or my other one was that shot, but this thing, like literally zero play. If I move this thing a little bit before, I was able to go at least a solid 2 inches either way, but definitely 2 thumbs up. This thing is insanely tight. Like, you actually got to put some effort into steering this thing now, which is really, really nice. It actually feels just as tight as my 4th gen does. So really, really pleased with how this steering box feels. A little bit, just a little bit. But man, when you're starting to turn with this thing, like, you guys can't tell. You guys can't tell. You just think I'm lying to you, but I'm not. This thing is super nice. Alrighty, guys. Well, there you have it. I won't drag it out much longer. Super noticeable difference with this combination, the 4th gen steering box upgrade and the Dodge Off-Road steering brace. 2 really nice pieces. 2 thumbs up for both of them. Highly recommended. I would consider this a definite must-have for a 3rd gen if you're looking for a steering box. That is going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like button before you leave. Subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you guys tomorrow. See ya.